Okay everyone, in my vise here I have a Togen's number 10 2x long curved nymph hook. Now if you've gotten some number 8s or 6s, you could certainly go that big. This is a big giant chironomid larva. It's really big. I was overawed by the size of the bloodworms we were pumping out of the stomachs of those trout we were catching in May or June on Tunkwa Lake. They're absolutely gigantic, and you almost can't go too big with these things. So if you've got it now, I don't have a curved nymph hook in that size, and I like the curve because it gives it a lot more lifelike profile. But I can make this one bigger by making the tail longer, as I can just choose, I'll put on a longer tail on there. I'm coming in here, my first ingredient is my medium UTC wire in red, and I've got 70 denier red tying thread on the shank of the hooker there right now, so I'm just going to attach that wire, and then we're just going to run down the side of the hook on this side of the hook and keep that nice and tight there without rolling it around the shank of the hook. Now we're just going to go just past the point of the hook here with the thread, attaching it to the wire, so we're just at the point now, another wrap or two, and we're just past the point, another wrap, there we go, just a little bit past. And our main ingredient is midge vinyl rib in red, and of course that's the hemoglobin in the bloodworm that we're representing with that, and that's why they are red. And so my trick here is to tie this in with the short end or the tag end toward the tail. You can see that there, and I'll attach that at that point and get it in there. Now if you want it shorter, you can trim that tail. But if you want it longer to make a longer bloodworm, you could certainly leave a longer tail on there. And it's a bit of a task to tie it in there when you've got that long end in front. It's interfering with your thread rollover, but that's a minor thing to create a realistic and lifelike and effective pattern. So now I bring the thread forward of the vinyl rib, the long end here, and hold it back as I bring the thread forward toward the eye, and then just bring it to the tie-off point there. Now I'm taking that vinyl rib and I'm wrapping away from myself. So if you're looking from the front of the fly, it's clockwise, and I'm wrapping in tight touching turns here. I want to make sure that each turn is in contact, full contact with the one before it. And so that we get that nice segmentation that occurs on the bloodworms and the chironomid larva. Now the trick to fishing these flies is they've got to be within inches of the marl, the mud, or the bottom. If you fish them like chironomids, a foot or 2 feet above the bottom, you will get some strikes, but you're going to get a lot more if you keep it within inches of the bottom. What happens on windy days when the water's stirred up and choppy is these things get, and their instinct of course is they're going to want to go back down and hide. Trout will often cruise the bottom, cruise the lake bottom with and stir up the marl or the mud to try to find them, stir it up with their jaws to try to find them and dig them out. And that's how close they reside, and that's where the trout are used to seeing them. So you don't want these really hung up above the bottom. That's where pupa are found, but the larvae are right in the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to bring that medium wire forward, and we're going with counter turning, or is counterclockwise around it, so that the wire doesn't slip down between the wraps of our vinyl rib. And we're just going to spiral that forward to enhance the segmentation and gives a little more weight to get it down there. So if you're dangling these or hanging them under an indicator, when you get it down to the bottom, you just want to barely lift it an inch or so off the bottom and then fish it there, and you will catch fish with these. Definitely, it's a pattern that and color that the trout can't resist. And in fact, like, you know, we were catching them on leeches, micro leeches and chironomid pupa, and their throats were full of these things. And so a pattern like this is just the ticket. So I've wrapped and captured that wire in there, just at the head of the hook, at the eye, behind the eye, and now I'm going to helicopter that out of there. It's a very easy fly to tie, but also very effective. I do tie these in smaller sizes for lakes, that have smaller chironomid larvae, and they're just as effective. And so give that a whip finish, a nice strong whip finish up there at the head with the red thread, and we'll finish it off with a dab of Sally Hansen's or your favorite head cement. So like I say, fish them close to the bottom. Trout will find them, definitely find them, and definitely they'll take these with relish. You'll enjoy some fast action when the trout are on the bloodworms on Tunkwa or Layton or any other lakes with the large chironomid pupa. These larvae will likely, now the months that we found them in this trout's stomachs or in their throats was in May and in June. These larvae will likely pupate in July or August and become pupa, or metamorphize and become pupa, and then hatch in August on the bomber hatch on Tunkwa and Layton lakes. But if you're fishing there in May and June, you're going to want some bloodworm patterns that are large like this. Number 10s, number 8s, number 6s even if you have them. Give them a nice long tail, you'll hit some fish. If you enjoyed that video, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and I'm wishing you the best of luck this tying season and good luck on the water too. Bye for now.